Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. What if I told you that there's a lawsuit having to do with the world of crypto that's more important than the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit? Blasphemy, I know, right? Well, attorney Deaton believes that that is indeed the case, which is why you have the headline on your screen here from the Crypto Basic. Deaton explains why Custodia bank lawsuit is more important than Ripple and Coinbase. And he could be right. He has a reasonable argument. I'm not sure if I'm 100% sold. I'm going to think about it a little bit longer. I tend to agree with Attorney Deaton on the perspectives that he has as it pertains to what's going on with the SEC attacking crypto. I could still be persuaded. I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet, but I could potentially be nudged over the edge. It's just there's so many moving parts to what's going on. When I think about the implications of having a disastrous outcome in the SEC v. Ripple case. I mean, because look, if you're talking about, and I don't think this would happen, so say we get a disastrous outcome at the district court level, and then it makes it all the way up to the Supreme Court, and we still have a disastrous outcome. I don't know. That could still be worse. But I'm going to share with you full context and perspective from Attorney John Deaton so that he can make his case here. I don't know. He could be right. We'll see. You guys can tell me what you think in the comment section below once you hear what he has to say here. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so this is going to be a follow-on to a story that I was covering months ago. Here you can see a headline from Cointelegraph, February 23rd of this year, titled, U.S. Federal Reserve denies Custodia Bank's request for Fed supervision. So Custodia Bank is, it's a crypto bank. They're very pro-crypto, and what they wanted to do effectively is have all customer deposits 100% backed. And so you may be aware at this particular moment in time as it pertains to the United States banking system that we engage in a fractional reserve banking system. Although I don't even know if that's right because the requirement was changed during a pandemic era. So banks don't have to have, they can have 0% of customer funds on hand. I think it used to be 10%. I could be wrong, admittedly. I'm pulling from memory, but I think that's what the number was, somewhere there about anyway. And then my understanding is that it was changed back then to 0%. So as long as people have confidence in the banking system, in theory, not a problem. But if too many people try to pull out money all at once, and it's not there, then panic spreads, and then more people try to pull out money, and then the whole thing could potentially collapse. So that's the concern. So you could prevent that by just having the money there. What a novel concept, right? And so that's what Custodia Bank wants to do. In fact, they wanted to have 108% of reserves, not just 100%, but 108%. And the reason for that is that even though there is a 0% reserve requirement, that's my understanding anyway, on average, banks typically have, and maybe it was just small banks, because again, I am pulling from memory here, but I know that they had 8% on average available, only 8%. And so that's why they're like, okay, so we'll have not just the 100%, but that additional 8%. So there you go. And so that's where that number came from anyway. But Fed's not so happy with this, and I can kind of see why, unfortunately, because they like the system that they have, and they're in charge of it, and they're ruling over it, and if suddenly there's a bank where customers know for sure that what they put in is 100% backed and available, why do you want to go to a different bank ever again then, right? So you can see the problem, right? So take a look at this headline, because there's a development here, which is what prompted John Deaton to say what he had to say. And this story was from literally just yesterday from Cointelegraph. U.S. court rejects Fed's motion to dismiss Custodia Bank case. Custodia Bank took a step forward in its legal battle against the Federal Reserve as a Wyoming federal judge denied dismissal motions from both the Fed and the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. The digital asset bank sued the Federal Reserve in June 2022, claiming an unlawful delay in processing an application for its master account. In 2020, Caitlin Long, a former executive at Morgan Stanley and an early proponent of Bitcoin, founded the bank to provide account services for crypto companies and serve as a bridge to the United States dollar. The Federal Reserve's latest motion to dismiss Custodia Bank's lawsuit was once again rejected. We are pleased that the Fed's attempt to provide itself a veto over state bank chartering decisions will now be tested in federal court. Nathan Miller, a spokesperson for Custodia Bank, told Cointelegraph in a statement. Custodia submitted an application for a Federal Reserve master account in October 2020. The application, if granted, would enable the bank to use the Federal Reserve's payment system, the Fedwire network, which processed over 196 million transactions last year. In January 2023, the Fed denied the membership application, saying it was inconsistent with the required factors under the law and citing the bank's involvement in the crypto space. That's right. If you were in crypto, use the devil. That's what the government thinks. We're just terrible, stupid people, right? Us little crypto degenerates, right? That's the front-facing message so far as I can see. That's why we're trying to absolutely bomb crypto into oblivion, effectively. Which leads us to the story about John Deaton stating, hey, there's actually a case here, and that's this one, more important than the Ripple and Coinbase lawsuits. And so here was a tweet from John Deaton pointing out that part of that story that I just noted. He wrote, "Big win, congrats to Caitlin Long. The Federal Reserve lost its motion to dismiss yesterday. Custodia Bank can move forward with its plausible claims. We win in court." Yeah, we do keep seeing that time and time again. Then there was this tweet from Attorney Deaton. He said, arguably, maybe the most important case out there today. And that surprised some people when he said that. And so he expanded upon his thoughts there. And he said the following. Some people are surprised that I would say the Custodia case is arguably the most important case considering we have the Ripple and Coinbase cases pending. They are all very important, but most people are unaware of Caitlin Long and Custodia's situation. Whether we like it or not, today, crypto companies need banking for on- and off-ramps. We just witnessed Choke Point 2.0 with SVB, Signature Bank, etc. Look at what Binance US just published. How do you limit or choke off crypto? Deny banking relationships. Here, I'm not going to read this, but I'll make this screen grab that Deaton shared full screen. So just pause right now if you want to read this. This is from Binance US. And we did know, and I reported on this. So Binance US, there's going to be no fiat on or off ramp. As of June 13th, no more withdrawals of cash. So you can still move your crypto on and off their Binance US, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, no more using United States dollars to purchase, and no more withdrawing to United States dollars, at least for now. And so, and by the way, just to be clear, I do understand that that's the choke point. It's just when you ask, and I'll let Deaton expand for it. He does have more to say here, but when I think about this fact, I would certainly see the point easily, readily, that if all on and off ramps were destroyed, that would be incredibly destructive for crypto. That would it would be devastating in terms of adoption. There wouldn't be adoption. Right? So I see that point. But in terms of which lawsuit is more important, I can still be persuaded. I'd actually like to hear some more opinions from some of you folks, actually. You could maybe kind of nudge me one way or another. But the way that I'm looking at it here is that's not going to happen. So even if Custodia loses here, I don't think that all on and off ramps are going to cease to exist. I think that they're under assault here. But I'd be surprised if it all hinged on that. Now, when you're talking about very long-term ramifications in the SEC v. Ripple case, like I was saying at the outset of the video, say this thing goes to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court sides with the SEC and the token's found to be a security. Well, in a situation like that, I would say that would be awful, obviously. So if that happens, well, maybe that's evidence that case is more important. I don't know. I could be sold. I'm just sharing with you kind of what my thought process is to this point. I just started pondering this evening here. So again, I'll look at your guys' comments and maybe you can nudge me one way or another. But there's no perfect answer, so whatever you believe, that's fine. It's not like it's wacky to believe either way. But then Attorney Deaton also said, Custodia Bank has a very controversial and revolutionary idea: not engage in fractional banking, maintaining 100 in reserves. When you have 100% reserves, a bank run becomes a non-issue because there would be no fear of not getting all your funds or assets out at any moment. The Federal Reserve doesn't like this revolutionary concept, however. The Fed, ignoring its statutory mandate, arbitrarily denied Custodia Bank a charter. Custodia sued the Fed, and the judge just denied the Fed's motion to dismiss, allowing Custodia to go forward with this government. Yeah, so where I would 100% agree with Attorney Deaton is like and he didn't word it like this, but I think this is kind of what he's getting at. Not to put words in his mouth, but if there were no on or off ramps, that would be like, the rest of it just doesn't matter at the point. So I would see that point. I guess the part where I'm struggling is just what I said a couple minutes ago, where I'm thinking, yeah, but if Custodia loses, is that the end of this? I mean, I guess you could make the same argument for the Ripple case too. Is it the end of this, even if the Supreme Court ruled it down? But that would be precedent setting, actually. So maybe that would be more disastrous. So which case is more important? I guess I lean towards saying Ripple, but maybe there's perspective that I haven't considered, or maybe Attorney Deaton, if he fleshes thoughts out further, then I'd be persuaded even from him. But you guys just tell me what you think. It's an interesting topic for conversation, so I thought I'd talk about it, but I'll stop yapping. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.